Hey YouTube, this is PVTAEROCK, and today we are going to be talking about the new and upcoming Clash of Clans update for March 2016. I will not be going into a ton of detail, but I will basically be reading what the changes are and how they might affect us when the time comes. What I'm going to do first is I'll just tell you what they are, and then we'll go into detail. But what I will make sure to do is to show you each one in its entirety on the actual in the actual video. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is Town Hall 11 changes. So the Grand Warden's Life Aura and Eternal Tome reduce slightly, Grand Warden's massive ability range and unique AI. Made him a hero where placement doesn't matter as much as it should. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to make him where you should actually care where you place him instead of just placing him way in the back of all your troops and knowing that everything's just going to work out. So now you're going to actually have to think about placement rather than just drop and you know you're going to win. On Town Hall 10 changes, the Inferno Tower multi-mode acquires new targets faster. This makes me really happy because I am, you know, I am at Town Hall 10 on one of my accounts, and that's going to really help me out a lot. Town Hall 10 and 11 players are less likely to find each other in multiplayer. That makes me really happy as well because I get wrecked by Town Hall 11s all the time, and now that this update's going to be coming out, hopefully that will, you know, there'll be a little less trouble. But it should be noted, and you should see this in the video, that players in Champions League and above will not be affected by this change. So if you're in Champions League or above, you will find 11 and 10s just as much as you were before. Town Hall 9, skeleton hit points reduced. That's nice. I mean, I personally like that because I don't use witches, but if you do use witches, you might be a little on the edge about that one. Skeletons spawn from witches no longer trigger traps. I like that one because now it's easier to kill witches because the skeletons don't trigger the traps now, so when the witches walk over them, the witches will get hit by the giant bomb or whatever it may be. They don't get the skeletons can't just run through all these defenses now. It's much more reliant on the witches, and I'm actually really looking forward to that one. Goblin level 6 has been moved to Town Hall 9. That kind of makes me mad because I would have upgraded it at Town Hall 9. Apparently it used to be Town Hall 10. God damn it, Supercell. But whatever. What can you do about that? You can't do nothing. It doesn't really matter. Expo levels 2 to 4 damage increase. I really like this because nowadays, you know, and you can see it on the screen with giants, golems, and lava hounds, the expos were just not effective against it. But now that the damage is increased, I really feel like this should be very helpful and be able to deal a little bit more damage to those troops. Town Hall 8 changes. So the Valkyrie damage has increased, but the hit points have decreased. That's not too bad. I don't like that the hit points have decreased, but now Valkyries might be used a little bit more as their damage is increased. And honestly, that might even make me use them a little bit, because it sounds like it is something that I would want to use. I want to use something that has a good damage output, and Valkyries do not take up that much space, so I may consider using them. The Valkyrie also starts attacking much faster after reaching her target. So if she attacks much faster, that's going to help me a lot as well, because if I'm trying to use her to take out clan castle troops as an example, you know, she doesn't have to wait like 5 seconds before, you know, attacking. It's just like you drop her, wait a second, boom, attacks. Maybe it's less than that, I don't know, maybe it's half a second. It doesn't take as long, and that's what matters. Wizard Tower levels 5 to 9 hit points increased and greatly increased at the later levels. So that again, all these updates are really making me happy because they're all things that I approve of, with the exclusion of one, but we'll get into that in just a second. So Wizard Towers level 5 through 9 hit points greatly increased at later levels. So that's really good because obviously, you know, the Wizard Towers, they're great at lower levels, but when they get higher, they can just be mowed down by just about any amount of troops, especially if you got the Golem in front and the wizards in the back, or giant in front, wizards in the back, or even giant and archers. They just get mowed down so easily. So now that the hit points have been increased, hopefully they can last a little bit longer and do more damage over time to those troops. Defending troops, but not heroes, flee from poison spells if they're standing idle. This is the only one I really don't like. I like having it where I can just deploy the, you know, the poison spell and they stand there and then die. But I understand it, because let's be honest, if you were in Clash of Clans and you were getting poisoned to death, what would you do? Would you just stand there? No, you'd run away from it. So I understand that. It probably just moves them out of the area, I don't know, like out of the area of effect. But hey, you know, on the upside, you can still use lightning spells, so maybe I'll switch over to lightning instead of using poison. But we'll see. Town Hall 5, all dark spells have a brewing time decreased to 10 minutes. That's great. All elixir spells, brewing time decreased to 20 minutes. That's great. I like both of those things, and hopefully it'll let me play a little bit more and play a little bit faster than I have before. Alright, so for all levels now, the battle time limit has been reduced to 3 minutes per attack. It used to be 3.5. Well, it was 3 originally, then 3.5, and now it is 3 again. I personally like 3.5, but 3 minutes was more than enough to begin with. Revenge attacks award star bonus and league bonus rewards. That should have already been in. I don't know why that wasn't. That should have been a thing. New building constructions can no longer be cancelled, but if you're upgrading, they can still be cancelled. So if you're upgrading a, if you're upgrading an expo, you can cancel the expo upgrade. But if you're building an expo, you cannot cancel that upgrade. Once you make sure to upgrade it, that is final. Alright, and this is just the additional stuff. It's just the additional stuff. So Claymore matching has been overhauled. Again, if you don't know what I mean by all that, the Claymore matching has been overhauled, please go visit my last video that I made. I did an entire video on it. It has a decent amount of views. Check it out. I go over it in detail. Literally all the stuff from the war menu right here, I have already covered. So yeah, please, if you want to go check it out, I'd really, really appreciate it. So I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just going to skim over it. So war sizes 35v35, 45v45 have been removed. New stat, war win streak, will show how many claymores you've won in a row. War events menu has been redesigned to make it much more readable. Numbers of remaining war attacks can be seen from the claymore button when outside of war mat. All replays can be viewed directly from my team / my enemy summaries and war details. Star button has been replaced with a bigger war details button on the bottom right of the war map. Again, I already went over all the stuff, so if you want to go check out the full video, please, it wasn't that much back, it was last week I think, so if you want to go check it out, I really appreciate it. And other, these are the last things. Builder summary. Tap the builder icon to see all in progress construction. Tap an entry in the builder summary to select it in the village. So there'll be, I guess now you can just see what's upgrading. You don't have to look around your base, which I guess is a quality of life improvement. When attacking, army selection bar shows left/right scroll arrows if an undeployed unit or spell is hidden on screen. That's nice because I forget that a lot. Tapping the loot card shows how many resources are inside before collecting. I like that as well because now I can see what I'm going to be getting. Resource storages have more visual states. That's also nice because now I can see when I'm attacking people, like, oh, this person has this much in their storages, or this person has this much. Exploding traps indicate their area of effect more clearly in battle, so I guess we'll see more outlines now in terms of that. Battles now end automatically if only poison spells remaining, and no longer end automatically if only an earthquake spells remaining. Again, that should have been something that should have been fixed from day one, but I won't harp on that too much. More replays are stored in the defense log and attack log and are available for longer. Thank you, so now I can show more replays. Army overview shows time until training/brewing is completed, also accounting for active boosts. That is also really nice. Player profiles unlocked, units area organized. Player profiles unlocked, units area organized. Reorganized. That is a tongue twister. You know what? You can guess. The player profile is just going to be redesigned and it's going to be a little different. Honestly, this update looks really, really good, and I am looking forward to bringing the rest of the content. It's going to be really awesome, and I cannot wait for it. Hopefully you guys went over the little bit of detail we went into and everything, and hopefully we will be getting more snippets of information as the update grows closer. I'm going to take a guess and say sometime next week, as it is today the 17th of March. I'm going to say maybe 22nd, 23rd? Yeah, probably 22nd, 23rd. I think we're going to see this update rolling out. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been PVTAEROCK. I will see you guys later. Have a nice day, and peace out.
I know you're a monster.